Public Service Committee. We have one item to discuss. It's order number 201008-042. Communications from Mayor Vigil regarding the proposed amendment to the code of the City of Marlborough, Chapter 540, solid waste, making changes to the transfer station, the resident drop-off facility, operations, and associated fees. What I'm going to do is, we all know, the mayor did send us a letter at the last meeting, and I'm not going to read the letter per se, but I'm going to go over some of the highlights. Basically, the mayor reminded us that the contract with We Care ended on March 31st, 2020, and the Department of Public Works has assumed complete control of the resident drop-off center. Did we ever think the contract with We Care would ever get over, huh? Many changes have been made, to the landfill since April 1st, since the city has taken over. For those that are frequent users, such as myself, it really looks good down there. The city, like a lot of things, the Department of Public Works, they've taken a lot of pride in it, and you can see the changes almost right away. The mayor mentioned in his letter also that there's many issues that have come up regarding the affordability of trash and recycling services, both in the local, state, and federal level. So it only makes sense that, we take a look at this. I mean, it's going to cost more money to get rid of everything, leaves and grass and TVs and all kinds of items that we bring down there. So this is a good opportunity to take a look at residential drop-off center. And that's what the mayor indicated in his letter there. Because, it's just going to cost us a lot more. With that being said, Ted Scott, now, Ted, are you acting or interim commissioner?
Interim is the technical term.
What pays more money? I can never figure out.
Take
I was
whichever one
interim.
pays more, I'll take.
I was interim principal and acting a couple of times. I can never figure out which paid the most. So you're interim. Okay, very good. And so we're going to give Ted an opportunity to present the proposed changes to Section 540, Article 2 of the City of Marlborough's code regarding the resident drop-off center. So my game plan is, to give Ted plenty of opportunity to bring up, give an overview. And then when I first read it a couple of weeks ago, I couldn't decide whether this was Gallone's going away present, Ted's welcome present, or the mayor had some ideas of saving megabucks. But the more I looked at it, it's basically, I think it's, some parts of it are a very interesting proposal. It's going to be a change for some people. But I think overall, I think if we spend tonight, one more meeting, and probably I'm going to report this out on our next city council meeting, not as a report, get the feel of some of our colleagues and see what the feeling is of having a public hearing. It might be a good idea, something of this kind of magnitude. To a lot of people, it's a big thing. So those are one of the things that we will discuss at our next meeting. So, Ted, you're on. I'm gonna turn this over to you, and we have enough time. I'm not going to rush you. Some of the members of the committee might have a few questions. But this will also give the members that aren't here, or that aren't watching, time to think about it. Some of the public might have some reaction to it. And I'm not sure exactly what your timetable is, but there's no reason we want to delay this, but it's no reason we want to rush it. We want to do a good job. So it's all yours, Ken.
Okay. Well, thank you, councilors. Thank you for the opportunity to be here. As Councilor Landers said, we've taken control over it. I think if anybody that goes down there will notice a huge difference. The reason we took control over it is the drop-off center sees residents on a daily basis. Probably more residents interact with it than anywhere else. So we wanted to take control of it and have a place where we can take pride in. And I think we've done that. We also want to have an area where single stream recycling isn't the most efficient way of recycling. We've now taken steps to recycle cardboard, food waste, glass and cans, and we'll keep adapting on the fly. So we take pride in what we're doing down there. Part of the other measure is to get some control down there. So people come down there and can throw whatever they want. We want to try to get some measure of control. And part of that is just assigning some value to things that they do. And we do now have a software system that tracks what people throw away and recycle. And so what we learned from last year's values is that most people, and you could see in the letter, 71% have a regular amount of use for the facility. There's another 26 that use it more than others, and there's 3% that just abuse it. And these people can be, nice way of saying it is, they're taking stuff that probably isn't residential, they're taking it from other towns, they're overusing it. There's no way one person can generate that. And you can argue with these people and have heated conversations, or we can try to enact and change the code to make something that just, if you want to bring something extra, then you're going to pay for it. So that's pretty much what this is trying to do. And to go down the list here, what we're proposing, and some of it is just a little housekeeping in the old code. It was from '96, and it had a lot of things that are more procedural that we want to take out of there and just put it in our rules and regs that we pass out every year with the sticker. So anybody purchasing the sticker, or if they're seniors not purchasing, but if they're using the facility, they get to see what the rules and regs are, what you're going to be bound by when you use it. And that really doesn't change much, but some things come up in the day-to-day, and we can tweak it a bit every year. So we also, back then, the transfer station wasn't even built yet, so you could see it would say when it's built. So we're trying to do housekeeping things with the code. It was called a transfer station. Our official name is resident drop-off facility, so we changed that. So there's a little housekeeping. And then the substantive changes are, we're not going to take demolition anymore. And part of that is it just fills up the bulk waste too much. It's not really something that residents, it's out of the ordinary demolition. And when we talk about demolition, we mean like if you're tearing apart a house or a room or something like that, drywall and that. That doesn't mean we don't take sections of wood or furniture. That's not demolition. So demolition, and we can look up at the definition, that's kind of what we're looking at. We're not going to take that. Can they bring that other places? You can bring it to Hudson, you can bring it across the street to Post Road and pay there for that load. Senior citizens, we're trying to bump up that. There used to be 2 levels. I think that was in '96. I think it's fair to say now a senior over 65 will just have it free, and that won't change. The next thing is recycling still won't cost anything, even though the cost of recycling's gone up quite a bit. The recycling single stream is up at $95 a ton, when the way we do it at the drop-off center now that we've taken control, we're actually almost an even sum game, because the cardboard is so valuable right now. So it allows us, and we want to try to drive people to the resident drop-off center to recycle, because it's to our advantage, it's more cost effective. People that take the time that want to recycle want to know they're getting value out of it, and the way to do that is to bring it down to the drop-off center, and it's free. So senior citizens and disabled American veterans, there's no cost. The only change is they'll limit it to 50 bags of household trash and 4 pay items a year. So pay items are the things that cost us, which are bulk waste, furniture, debris, anything that goes in the big containers is bulk. Household is just in a bag that you throw in a different bin. The pay items are the bulk, the electronics and TVs, and the appliances. Everything else you can throw. There's certain limits on amount of oil or tires, but most people don't even reach that. It's usually the electronics and the bulbs that's getting overused and the appliances. So those would be the pay items. And we feel seniors are fine with 4 pay items, what we've looked at. What you're getting sometimes is abuses. People will use the seniors sticker to dump their own stuff. So this is where we're just trying to get some measure of control so people treat the place fairly. So with that, the regular fee of $50, which it is now since 1996, that will stay $50. And that's for 50 bags. That's like a bag a week. And remember, we still have curbside for most people in the city. And 6 pay items. And then what we found is 71, looking back at last year's figures, 71% won't notice any change. In other words, they'll fall into the $50, they're either seniors that will be under the limits, or they'll be in the $50 line item, their standard sticker. They'll be under the 6 pay items and 50 bags. So they won't notice anything. Almost 3/4 of the residents won't notice anything. Another 26% will pay, if you look at the next thing, sticker upgrades will be $100 increments and will give you 4 pay items. So the next 26% will pay an additional $100. And if you're bringing additional bags for whatever reason, 12 additional bags will be considered 1 pay item. So that might seem a little confusing, but we want to keep it general, and we can track it with our software, because if you want to do all bulk waste, or if you want to do some appliance, some extra trash, if you had a party or whatever, it's flexible. We're not limiting you to what you're taking. Like at other places, they'll charge you what you brought. And then the rest of the 3% are what you would call the abusers, I like to call, who are, I don't know where they're getting their trash, but there's no way they have this much and are a resident. They're either trucking it in from multifamily housing, or they're trucking it in from another town. I don't know what they're doing, but there's no way these people are regularly using it. If they're gonna bring it in, we're not gonna argue with them where they're getting it. We're just gonna say, you're gonna bring it in, we'll pay for what you wanna bring in. So it's much more control in how we do it. And that's pretty much what the thing's about, trying to get control over it. And there's still value here. Marlborough takes pride in giving value to their residents, and this is no exception. You're still getting a $200 value for whether you're a senior, or whether you're paying the $50 sticker, or whether you jump up to the next level. You're still getting that base $200 value for using the drop-off center. And that's in addition to, if you're curbside, that value is roughly $275 a year value, because that's all from taxes. You're not paying anything on that. So that's pretty much what we're looking at here. We're not trying to, it's not really trying to, even though it's from 1996, the prices haven't gone up. You could argue with the way trash is now, you could raise it up. And if you look at a lot of other communities, a comparison, it is a lot higher in other communities. They charge by the bag. So when you're getting charged $2 or $3 a bag, it adds up pretty quick. You can go through $50 pretty quick. And so that's what we're looking at. We're just trying to get some control over people and get them to think about what they're doing, and curtail the abusers. Make the overusers pay a little more and at their fair share, and the abusers, they're either going to pay more or they're going to stop doing it. We suspect they're going to stop doing it. So that's all I have to say. If you have any questions, I'd be...
Good job, Mr. Acting Commissioner. I think we all have some questions, but I want to give some members of my committee a chance to ask a few questions. And I'm going to start with Councilor Perlman.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you so much for the overview. I think that was helpful and gave a lot more context than the communications that were in the packet specifically. I know I personally was reached out to by a couple residents who were concerned about the communication about this change, so I agree with Chair Landers about having a public hearing. I think that'd be really valuable, allow for some of the intricacies to be explained in more depth, and also give residents an opportunity to share, and depending on what category they fall in, right, with the percentages that you gave. I'm curious if you could speak a little bit about whether any of this has been enacted yet. I know one resident spoke that they had come down and that some of this had been already maybe in place, that they couldn't do demolition anymore already. I don't know if you could speak about that specifically, and as well around earlier, and this might be me misremembering something, but I thought there was an opportunity to go out to bid for the services. And I know you mentioned that it was going to be in-house now, and so I didn't know if you could touch a little bit more about those conversations.
Sure. So the first element, what's going on now, because we had some instances where we wanted to get this out sooner, but with COVID and a lot of other stuff, this got delayed. So now we're at a position where the stickers are already past July 1st. So what we've done is anybody with the last year's sticker can keep coming. So that's what, anybody that doesn't have last year's sticker, they can pay the $50 standard fee unless they're a senior. So it's still under the same guidelines. And they can come. We're really not tracking as much. We're trying to track by hand, which isn't as efficient because we can't put them in the computer system yet. But we'll take the $50 and then they can come as well. The demo, we stopped on June, and what demo was is you get one sticker per year. So we've stopped that until we find out what's going to happen this year. We don't want to take demo now and then stop other people from not demo and not make it fair to people. So that's where that stands. Part of this, it is a little complex, but the simplest way is pay as you go, pay as you throw, which a lot of communities do. You come up with a bag that's $2, $4, $6. That's pretty simple. What we're trying to do is still give you the value and give you the flexibility. And I can tell you, since we've taken control, we're educating people. They're asking where are the stickers, and we're trying to explain to them, and as they're explaining, they do kind of get it. But people that don't have it yet, we will be putting out, we have the yearly pamphlet that goes out to residents that will try to be explained in there as well, and they can always call the DPW to have it explained. But we will be reaching out, mailers, Facebook, with the regulations and try to explain it better. As far as, so what's happened since we've taken it over, the trash that went to We Care, that contract's over. So what happens to the trash at the drop-off center is we negotiated with, the easiest thing for the trash is it goes across the street. We transport it over there, and we've gotten a good deal on the value there. Our recycling goes to Westboro under a great deal that we're breaking even. The cardboard is worth $70 a ton now, so it offsets all the other recycling in there. We're actually running in a credit right now. And we also, because we're our metal scavenging, we're making money off of that as well to offset the cost. What we've taken over that's different is there used to be a contractor to be the guards, the attendants, and we would get a few guards that did their job well, but if they weren't in, we'd get anybody and they didn't show up, and it just became a mess. So there's no controlling it. So what we've done is we've taken over. Those are part-time guards that work for us now. So we control what they do, we educate them. We now have a foreman down there that oversees the whole operation. And you can see it's night and day down there now. You can barely see 4 bags of yard waste in the bin. Before, you couldn't even drive by it when We Care was in charge. It was always a chore to try to get them to clean the place up. So, I mean, that's the difference that's happened. Did I answer your question about that?
Yeah, that was really helpful. And I'm just curious, and maybe this was mentioned earlier, depending on when this moves forward, and at one point we do vote on it, if it were enacted, what would be the earliest that it would take place? Would it be immediate, or would there be a little bit of a transition?
As soon as we get the approval, we have the stickers. The software is ready to change over. It just if anything gets changed, the software just tweak a little bit, but pretty much right after we get the approval, we start converting over the temporary stickers and start issuing the stickers right out, yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr.
My
Chair.
idea is, Counselor, probably have some discussion at our July 20th meeting, maybe get the feel of a public hearing. And then I'd say our August 24th meeting, I would give my full report. And I would say maybe the first meeting in September, the 14th or shortly thereafter. We don't want to delay it, but we want to do a good job because, you know, we don't want to be changing it all the time. Two quick questions. I think you answered them. Those that don't have a sticker, they can buy one right now.
Yep. So they're given, just like we take their registration and license, make a photocopy, give them a temporary pass, and that money will go towards, once we get the computer updated, we'll just enter that.
Someone did get refused in the last couple of days. I think it was maybe a misunderstanding, but I told that person that we would discuss that tonight.
And stickers time is always difficult, and this does make it more difficult. It's the nature. We would have rather have this updated before, but much like we've done before, we've tried to make it stickers easier. We spend a day at the senior center where we set up a pop-up tent. I don't know, we'll have to adjust this to COVID, but so the seniors don't have to wait in line. It's free anyway, so we just issue them the stickers. At the DPW, we're gonna start selling them at night as well and try to drive them. We sold them during the day last year at DPW when you have some people do it. But let's try to make it at night this time, maybe 1 or 2 nights a week. Try to get people to go there and not wait in line as much, so.
Council Perman, you all set, or do you have other questions?
No, I yield my time. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Councilor Irish.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good evening, Commissioner. Question 2 on recycling glass. Is there an incentive and any revenue stream in that?
Sure.
Because I realize there was a plant in Milford, Mass. that closed, I think, last year, so I didn't know if that's a possibility as well, if you could kind of explain some of that process.
No, it's a great question. So glass is the worst. Since that closed in this region, glass costs more than recycling cost, $120 a ton if it was just glass. If it's mixed in with the single stream, it just makes it way more. So we've separated that, and what we're trying to do is utilize, we've applied for a grant to DEP for our own processing equipment. But Groton has it. There's also down the Cape, also Dennis has it, where you can take the glass, you crush it into 3/8 minus, and you can use it for backfill, or you can mix it with gravel and use it for backfill. So we're looking at that. We've already taken out the glass and aluminum cans and the cardboard out, and the glass is more because it's a negative thing. But eventually, we're either going to use Groton, or if we get the grant for the equipment, we'll use it ourselves and make our own backfill.
So the glass is a negative.
Glass is a negative as far as the regular stream of recycling. The way we use it will be a positive. We will gain the value of that heavy glass paying for that to recycle. Then we're going to get the added value of using it for backfill as well.
Very nice. I love it. And then the other question I had too, that's come up, a few years back, is someone has a dump sticker and all of a sudden their wife or their husband gets a new vehicle and they transfer that plate to another vehicle, same plate. What's that process now that it's going to be all computerized?
The way it used to run, which was pretty primitive, you'd have the sticker and you look at, you got a sticker you can dump. Now we have the software. So it used to be a $25 fee for a new sticker. I don't know if that was a penalty or what.
Right, that was for the replacement.
We have the software now. You can take the sticker off. We can do whatever we want. It won't be a fee for that. We can tell when we look at the software whether someone put it on another car or not.
And that's great, because in the years past, I think there was fees involved for doing a plate transfer.
Yep.
But thank you, Commissioner. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Very good. Councilors,
Mr. Chairman.
is Mr. President behind you?
That is correct.
Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Scott, outstanding job. I don't want to say long overdue, but the work that you guys have put into the new process, I think, is fantastic. Having gone down there, based on some of your comments, the facility is running top notch. I mean, having our guys run it, long overdue, and thank God We Care is gone. You know, we still want to encourage the community to use the curbside pickup. The price for the sticker, $50, you're not going to beat that anywhere around here. Free recycling, and what we're really trying to do with this order is address the abusers to the system. I mean, that's ultimately what we're after. Because remember, those abusers means you are paying for what they are throwing away, all right? And so we got to put a stop to it. And I think this is great. And to Mr. Chairman, you know, if we find you need to adjust the pay items to 6 or 8 or something going forward, we can do that. But I think this is a great start. You know, the numbers show, you know, people use their the curbside pickup. And for the folks that get down there, you know, it shouldn't be costing us more money for something that we drive by their street every week to pick up. And I ask the councilors to keep that in mind. And that's what this is after. And we're trying to do it, and Mr. Commissioner, nice job. I commend you guys. And I support this, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Okay,
Mr. Chair.
Thank you very, I'll go?
Yes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Mr. Scott, thank you very much for the work you've put into this. It really does show the work that you guys did. I appreciate the tour of the place that you gave me. I do have a couple of comments that I just want to summarize based upon our previous talks. You know, I understand, you know, construction and demolition comes and goes. You know, someone has a project to happen and they got to get rid of it. I just want to make sure that there's a clear process to get the material out. If we're going to say they can bring it to Hudson, they can bring it across the street, I want to see the agreement, and I want to make sure it's posted, here are the times and stuff like that. Oh, you can drop it off at this time, at this place, you know, not just say, oh, you just take care of it. You know, that's got to be clear for construction demolition. And, you know, if we start saying, hey, look, you want to get a bagster and start giving out bagsters, fine with that too. You know, something for the cases of construction demolition. And I think that that's probably one of the bigger abusers to begin with anyway. So, and I think that the way that you're trying to address it as far as abusers, I'm perfectly fine with that as well. The people who take advantage of it we should recognize and figure out how to compensate, have them compensate for what the services that you're taken from the city. You know, I think that the work you're doing in introducing composting is actually really good. And I think anyone who's listening to here is considering to do composting, to get in touch with DPW, and basically you're giving away compost bins. And that's a great opportunity for the city to take care of their food waste, you know. Also, I think that we have to, you know, the opportunity with paper and cardboard, I think is a great opportunity. I was actually concerned with, you know, with this pandemic, there's so much now being shipped into the city in boxes, cardboard boxes, you know. How can, you know, are we going to get overwhelmed with all the cardboard? I mean, I have seen in my neighborhood, I've seen in my own dumpster, you know, the thing packed to the gills with just cardboard from stuff that got shipped into, you know, because someone got through that type of purchases or whatever. And I think that what we do to take the cardboard and get it out of the stream so it doesn't get contaminated actually provides more value for the city. So I think the more we promote the use of the transfer station for cardboard makes the city more money. So, and I think that everything about recycling is about basically making money for the city. And I think that the work that you're looking as far as addressing glass as well, and using that instead of including that into the stream is a great advantage. So I think that having a hearing probably makes a lot of sense, so that people have a chance to, you know, express their voices as far as what will be done. So, thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you. Councilor Roby, do you have a few questions?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I want to thank Mr. Scott for his time with the presentation today. I know I spent probably 45 minutes on the phone with him going over this before the meeting a couple weeks ago, I guess, and just so that I was a little clear. And I think the changes are good. I know one of the points that I made to him was that Article 1 needs to also be worked on. If anybody looked at the whole package of 540, he said that's a work in progress. I mean, to me, it could easily just be deleted, but I think he understands that that's there. A couple of concerns and questions that I had for him were that we do have a list of definitions, but one of the things that I found was not defined was what is bulk waste. So when I talked to Mr. Scott, what we went through was, is it worth adding bulk waste as a definition, or what he suggested and what we kind of came up with, and I would suggest as an amendment to this, is that on the second page of this, at the very last, Roman numeral B5, where it says pay items are items such as electronics, appliances, and bulk waste, add the words as defined in the regulations. And then, as he said, residents will get the regulations when they get their sticker, so that it's very clear, this is what you can bring, this is what you can't bring. These are those pay items that you're buying as you get your sticker. I would also echo the comments, and I believe one of the things that he pointed out to me was, I know we do have every other week recycling one stream, so in that stream are the glass, the aluminum, and paper. So evidently the cardboard that gets put into that one stream is not as worthy of then that getting added to that 70-pound weight if it's nice, clean cardboard.
What you're encouraging, that we bring the cardboard down.
Yes.
ourselves.
Bring the
So the
cardboard
cardboard, so because you're sorted, so what happens when it goes single stream, it goes in, like, if you go to Harvey, it's on a conveyor that tries to blow off the plastic and do stuff mechanical, then it comes to hand picking. So you wonder why recycling costs, you get people on a conveyor line picking stuff off, it's like medieval. So having the cardboard separated, another thing is, we've had so much cardboard because people get the boxes, and you know people don't like to break the boxes apart, so they drive right down there, we have them in the compactors, they throw the big box in there and let the compactor do all the work. They don't have to try to rip it up so to fit it in the recycling bin so that they can fit everything in the recycling bin.
And
So
my-
it's perfectly clean, and because it's separated, it gets back into the source that much quicker. It doesn't have to wait to go through the processing facility. You're getting that cardboard right back into the stream, which is needed with all the online shopping now, so.
And a resident would just get a recycling sticker at no cost.
No
So there
cost.
is, other than getting in their car and driving
Yep.
to the transfer station.
And just to let you know, since we had the last 2 months, because of COVID, you could take a bag a day and 4 bags of yard waste. We've received, they'll come down there, and then they realized it was cardboard, and people just started bringing cardboard. And before, when it wasn't organized, people would throw stuff anywhere, and there's still people that get lazy, but you teach people once now, and then you watch them sort it. They'll pick the styrofoam up, make the extra trip to throw the styrofoam where it belongs, and do the cardboard right. So it's just giving them ownership into this too. I think it's important, like Council just said, the cardboard gets contaminated, then it's useless. Paper, you put something in liquid, contaminates it, it's no good anymore. So here, it's separated, all of it's 100% gets used.
Like no pizza boxes, right?
Right.
If you can comment, I believe the comment was made that you're giving away the composting for free.
Yep.
That is not correct, is it? Isn't there a cost to get those
So we have the curbside yard,
containers?
so Black Earth is doing our composting. It's commercial composting, you can throw bones, meat, anything you want in there, because it's commercial. I forget what the temperature is in there, where they take it near Manchester by the Sea, it's 120 degrees. It breaks down everything. It's not like just your backyard thing. You can throw shells, bone, meat, deer, all kinds of stuff. You don't have to worry about the smell. They pick it up every week. You're charged for that. If you want to sign up for it, you have the convenience. It's a little tiny tote that's lined with a bag so it doesn't smell. They'll pick up every week, and right now we've been passing the totes out. That we've purchased the totes to try to influence people to do it. The reason why is food waste is 20 to 30% of the waste stream. It weighs a lot, and that's the next DEP thing they're looking at is food waste. So we want to try to get that out. And if people don't want to do that, we have food waste containers down at the drop-off center. Right when you drive in, there's the oil, the food waste containers, then the batteries and bulbs. It's right there. That's free. If you want to dump it in there for free, if you want to make the trip down here, you can drop your food waste for free. Take it in a container, take it in a brown bag, take it. If you're going to bring it in a bag and want to throw the bag in there, it's got to be a compostable bag, which you can and we might end up, if we get enough interest in that, sell them down there. Or you could just bring it in a container and dump it in.
Okay, I just didn't want people to start showing up at the DPW thinking they're going to get a free bucket to compost in, because there is a charge associated with it.
What's that?
There is a charge, you're not just handing them out
So
for
to
free.
get that, you have to sign up. So we had quite a few. When we launched it, they were saying we had 80 pre-registered. I couldn't believe that right out of the chute. I think we've passed out 24 containers. So they have to sign up and use their credit card first to sign up. Then they tell them, go to the DPW. They come with the sheet to say they signed up. We give them it comes with the 13-gallon tote and the bag liners and 13-gallon kitchen bag things, the starter kit.
Thank you, that's,
Okay, very good. Councilman Abel.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Commissioner, and congratulations or condolences on your current capacity. We appreciate all the work you've been doing. Just to echo a couple of things that have been said and then a couple of questions on the new changes at the transfer station, they're like night and day. I go down there every week to dump my lawn clippings, and you really can. It's like every time I get there, it's like I'm the first one of the day. There's never anything down there. And the people running it and scanning everything have been great, so thank you for that. Just out of curiosity, I had two questions. About how many senior stickers and how many? What's it?
Half.
Really? Okay. And then about how?
Around it's close to 6,000 last year, and you're getting 3,000. Well, they're free.
Yeah.
If you're a senior, if you get something for free, you're going to sign up for it, even if you don't use it.
I mean,
right?
if you're not a senior and you're free, it's I'm coming for you. So I can certainly sympathize with that. In the other range, the current, the reduced rate for if you're 62 to 65, about how many?
Okay.
Those were not many at all. I don't know the exact number, but it wasn't as many.
Okay, just I was just curious to see kind of
It
who would
seems like
be.
it would. If you're getting it for free, now you're gonna. I know senior. They may go down once, twice. They just want to get the sticker.
Yeah.
Just to know they have it, I think.
And then my other question is just with the changes, and I agree, we definitely need to make some changes. And, you definitely see the folks down there with the giant pickup trucks that are just overflowing to the brim. Definitely agree that some changes need to be made. But a concern about illegal dumping for after these regulations take place, if they are to go forward, and now all of a sudden people kind of have a restriction of what they do. Is there a concern, has there been thought given to, now, if you drive down Parmenter Road, in the early spring, there are mattresses, there are couches, things like that. Concerned about the impact that will cause to the DPW to have to go and then
No,
pick
that's a
those up?
great question, because when people, you can look at the other communities, they're all being charged more. So, and what we found is, we know the places, we get them calls all the time. Millham, Palmer, Elm Street, and we put up hunting cameras, and we did catch someone, and it was a contractor from Northborough. The police caught him. So it's not necessarily what we're doing. I don't think it's going to increase that, but we're always going to have that. We have residents that put furniture out there. We're always going to have that. So will it increase a little bit? It may, but as far as I'm concerned, I'd rather have the control here, and we'll still be picking up the stuff
Control the
around
city to pick up the stuff that gets dumped. Okay, thank you.
And remember that anybody that wants, and it's always on our flyer, but anybody that has furniture or mattresses or anything that doesn't have a way to get it down there, you can call Republic for a fee, which is minimal, $12 or $20, to pick the couch right off the curbside, or the mattress, and we pay for the mattresses. You get 2 a year. So You can look online at the DPW, and it's in the flyer. There's a price list. So if you're not, instead of worrying about trying to get a truck to bring it down somewhere, you can just have it picked up curbside by Republic.
A lot
who's on
cheaper than the
curbside.
fine. Be a lot cheaper than the fine that you'll get charged if you
Yep.
leave it out there. All right, thank you very much. Thanks, Mr. Chair.
Okay, let's go to our friends at home. Council Orm, you still there?
Yes, I am, Mr.
Do you
Chairman.
have a question, sir? Or
Yes, I do,
questions?
and
Yeah.
thank you. I will first start with Mr. Ted Scott. Ted, you gave away the secret on those cameras. You are not supposed to do that. But anyways, I want to echo and concur with my fellow councilors. I get a chance to go down to the transfer station, usually twice a month. Place is being run in a fantastic way. Many thanks to all the people involved from the city who have made that place a difference from what it used to be. So, including the fact that you can now reach the dumpsters without going up. I almost had a window pane come into my neck because I couldn't reach over the dumpsters. So, fantastic changes down there, great personalities down there. Very thankful to all that work down there and everyone that manages it. On another note, I would concur with the user fee. I'm a strong believer of user fees. If you're going to use something above and beyond what the general city provides, then you should be charged a fee, such as demolition. So I concur with all my fellows on that as well. I look forward to working with you on the rest of the process. And Mr. Chairman, I think you're doing the right. It's the right idea to continue it, get some more input from our residents, and then get to the final point with the contribution that I would expect from our fellow residents. And Marlborough, by the way, is very fortunate to have a great curbside program. And Ted, I would suggest you really promote that part about the mattresses and furniture as well, especially when this gets announced, just so they know that. But thanks to all of you, and that's my comments for now. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Councilor Orm. Councilor Wagner, you have a couple of questions or points you'd like to make?
No, this is all fascinating. I really appreciate all the effort put into everything, and I'm really particularly excited about composting, and really happy about the changes that are being made and the direction we're moving in.
Right.
Thank you.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Councilor Tenera, are you playing hockey or are you with us? I think he did.
I am still here.
Okay. I thought I heard you making a slap shot, but I guess that wasn't. Go on.
No, this is riveting stuff, Counselor. Thank you. No, I'm just taking it all in. All good information, and I appreciate the new acting commissioner for stepping up today. Good job.
Okay. Very
Thanks,
good.
Chair.
I'm very pleased with the way things went tonight. Those that had some questions had a chance to ask the questions. Ted, you did a great job, fantastic job. And this is the start. As I say, I will report something out at our next meeting. We will discuss public hearing, but I think this kind of tells us maybe we should. And then we'll have one more meeting, Councilor Irish and Perlman. And then I think we'll be ready to make a recommendation. We'll have to do some fine tuning, and you people are probably going to get a few calls now. So, Ted, if you get a few parting shots, you can make it, and if not, we're going to wrap this up and go right
parting
into our
shots.
urban meeting.
I think you've heard enough of me talking.
You did a good job. Okay.
I just want to say the people that it made a big difference. The attendants and the foreman, Gary Aker, huge difference. They take a lot of pride in what they do down there.
Pride's the key, yeah.
Very proud of. We have a lot of DPW workers take a lot of pride in what they do.
Okay, now for my members of my committee, do I hear a motion? Councilor Irish.
Motion to postpone?
Okay, I'll second that. All in favor?
Oh.
We don't need a roll call because we're all here.
Yeah. Yes.
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 Okay, we're all set.
Motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn, yes. Okay, all in favor? At 7:35.